Do you not understand what being an artist is? It's about getting that out.
There's a term like you just put it on the hook. You make the bread and then whatever is left, you put on the hook for if people don't have enough money, they can come take it.
The comedy club exists in the modern day and age. So even that is being phased out like magazines. Like, will the comedy clubs even be relevant in 10 years from now or 20 years from now?
What is the window in this analogy?
Social media?
There you go.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like social media is human. It's not. You know, it's always the ones that look crazy that are the least crazy, because the ones that are crazy are the mass, because they've all convinced themselves that they're not crazy. How is it that most people online know everybody's online profile is a faker version of their life, yet they still will look at someone's account and feel bad about their life?
Well, they haven't really done the work, which is why they're able to do it.
Thank you. So why would I want to contribute to that? I get excited about the artistry side of things. So what I need to do is implant in my subconscious, like I need to reignite the artist flame of creating content and sketch writing and sketch filming and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And try and separate it in my mind from the social media thing. You know what I mean? Because like, it'll be hard though when I try and freaking release it and I have to release it through social media.
Yeah, but I think that's easier because at least for like there's a term like you just put it on the hook, right? So like I read this book called The Practice, right? And basically say you make the bread and then whatever is left you put on the hook for if people don't have enough money, they can come take it. But you just put it up there. If people take it, they take it. If they don't, they don't. So you do it for the artist's sake. Like I enjoy creating it.
Yeah.
You just put it up. You don't even think about it.
My thing is though, I love creating it.
Yeah.
I love sharing it.
You love creating it. So once it's done, put it on the hook.
I feel like that just misses so much. When you say put it on the hook, you literally dismiss the entire process of what the hook is.
What?
Put it on the hook. So what is the hook, metaphorically speaking?
The hook is put it online.
Put it online. So we're back to square one. We're back to putting it on social media.
Yeah, but
the hook.
Yeah, but my point is
the hook is what I don't have interest in.
I know.
So I have more interest in just creating.
So create it and then what? Keep it in the libraries?
I mean, I've been doing that.
Then keep doing that and see how that works out.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, yeah, I'm lost, bro. Like it's. I'm not even lost. I'm so not lost that I am lost. It's like, I know what I want too much, but it clashes too much with what is.
Okay.
And even though, like, it's weird, I have this weird acceptance of what is, but again, I would feel like I'm completely betraying myself by just putting it on the hook, blindly. Because that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, but you want to create.
Exactly. So then I continue to create and I get that out. Do you not understand what being an artist is? It's about getting that out. It's not even necessarily about, like, when I say I'm a loser about being an artist, this is what I mean. I care more. I love the creating process.
Yes.
Like, an audience is a bystander, which is crazy because I'm a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's actually the best bystander. Like, I care more about the connection that I make with the people in the club.
Yes.
That to me matters the most. That's why we're putting the effort in the show.
Yes.
Let's try and put a spotlight on that in the in the realm of social media and all that. I still don't necessarily think that will work because seeing what works and again, what is being pushed, like there's a reason why most people are doing this. Why most people are doing the goofy, random BS.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clear reason. It's because we say that's what works, but like, again, it's so dismissive. Putting it on the hook is so dismissive. You're literally like cutting out the part of it that is the least human of all of it. You know? To me, at least.
Yeah, but I think when I mean put it on the hook, right? Once again, I could be using this analogy wrong because it's been a while since I've read the book.
Fair enough.
Right? But you enjoyed the creating, just like the baker enjoys making the bread.
Mm-hmm.
Once the bread is done, You just put it up. But you got to enjoy making the bread, which is the whole point.
Yeah.
So then?
But what if you just enjoy making bread? What if you enjoy the old way of making bread? Where you make bread and then you make a shop and then people come to your shop because they like bread.
Okay.
But now...
But where do you put the bread? In the shop? Or do they just stay in the back?
In the shop. In the window or whatever.
What is the window in this analogy?
Social media.
There you go.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like social media is human. It's not. You're making it sound like the person. You're making it sound like the bread maker making the bread, putting it in his shop that he opened.
Yes.
And so it's already established. I'm a bread maker. People love bread. Da 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 da. Like this is already a thing in society.
You're a baker.
Correct.
Yes.
He's doing that himself. He's creating a human connection with the people that walk into his shop. There is no human connection with someone scrolling on my thing, laughing for 2 seconds. You could tell me there is.
Yes. But
I'm not convinced.
If the bread is not in the window and no one even knows it's a bread shop, why are they going to go through this door to buy bread?
No, but you're not getting what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm an old-time bread maker.
Yes.
I would rather have a bread shop in the streets where the people can walk into as opposed to an online bread shop.
Okay.
An online bread shop removes the part of the releasing aspect of creating art that I love, which is interacting with people, having real tangible human connections. I don't feel anything human when someone DMs me. Okay. I don't feel anything human off that. I appreciate the compliment, but look at and you've seen it. You see what happens after shows, especially after you have a good
yes.
I feel none of that.
I understand.
Online. So there's no incentive for me. I'm still this is the part that I think people forget, and this is why I constantly have a battle, because I'm still a comedian doing what comedians do. I'm in the clubs. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not going to build an audience that way in this day and age unless I go the computer route. And I'm not a dinosaur to the point where I F the computer route, but I'm human enough to where I'm like, okay, this is clear. Like the computer is telling me to go a certain route. Doesn't anybody click into that? Like, hasn't anybody seen, like to bring up an old thing, I've watched my friends get into comedy for one thing, and because that's not going to work, or at least it didn't work because, I don't know, maybe not enough effort put into trying to figure that out or whatever. But you see me going crazy trying to figure it out, right? Like, I'm very open with the process. The podcast is essentially a weekly therapeutic release. But
it's a pressure release.
But like, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's incentive to work against what I am naturally. It's incentive to work unnaturally. And I have no interest in that.
Okay.
But there is still a shop for me. It's called a comedy club.
Yes.
But, the comedy club exists in the modern day and age. So even that is being phased out like magazines. Like, will the comedy clubs even be relevant in 10 years from now or 20 years from now? Like, if comedy is moving at such a quick pace and people's attention spans are...
Well, to your point, I think that it still will be relevant because, like you said, how you don't get that human experience on the phone. When you go to a comedy club, it's a different experience. So people would go to the comedy club for that experience.
But yo, we're dying. We're dying out.
Who?
Gen Z and beyond have no care for that. They're the most plugged in. Like, what happens when we are like 60? You know what I mean? And if alhamdulillah, bro, you know what I mean?
Well, then the people that are 60 still go to clubs. I see old niggas in the club all the time. G.
I'm just saying, like, I think what's really been interesting to me as just becoming an adult and growing is you really see how generational divide happens, and it's like by design. I don't think naturally we grow up to resent the generation prior to us or whatever.
Yes,
but I think each generation experiences so much trauma, and every generation goes through their own iteration of trauma and technological advancement all at once. You know what I mean? that it warps you to such an extent. And then by the time 10 years have passed and that new breed is coming up and music has changed just slightly enough for you to be like, we're getting further and further away from natural, you know? And that's where I think people subconsciously are being like, yo, this isn't even music. You don't even know music. Back in my day, music was like this. Well, back in your day, you were closer to natural sounds. You were closer to authentic drums. Not even bro, everything is digitized now. It's the drum machine with that the pattern of the 808. Do people not understand? It's like we all openly say we get it, but then we still continue to participate in the things that make us sick. And that's what I don't want to. That's like, you know, that's the part that I'm like, yo, don't you all are complaining that you're sick. But you yourself are participating in the sickness, and then I'm in turn becoming crazy. You know, it's always the ones that look crazy that are the least crazy, because the ones that are crazy are the mass, because they've all convinced themselves that they're not crazy. It's like some they live shit. I'm watching social media tell me that, hey, this is the way for, especially you're a comedian, bro. Don't you want an audience? And then you see your friends around you. And that's why I'm so grateful that I've worked on my mentality, my spirit, my nature. I'm in alignment with that. I don't look at my friends, especially, I'm still proud of my friends that are succeeding in social media. I'm still proud of anybody going down that, like, if you're succeeding, you're succeeding. Now, whether you're doing shady stuff or not, that's, I don't know, and that's whatever. But I know in my heart of hearts I can find success continuing to challenge this notion. I just haven't found that yet.
Yeah.
Once I do, I'll breathe like, you guys don't need to hear this now. It'll be 10 years of just hearing the other side of the conversation now. But like, does that make my stance make more sense? Maybe.
Like, I understand, right? I understand where you're coming from, because, like I said, I think me and you are more similar on this sort of thought process than different.
What I'm envious of is that, maybe envy is not the right word, but you seem to be better at letting go of.
Yeah, because I went to therapy, and then the therapist is like, have you ever tried letting go? Like, yeah, that's a good point. I never even tried that before.
I guess.
I'm being dead serious. There was a time, like, I had almost every single t-shirt that I had growing up, and I was holding on to it. Shirts that I wasn't even wearing no more.
Yeah, but
then all that clutter starts to clutter up everything. You don't even have space for new t-shirts.
But is that a good comparison to creating art?
Well, if you're holding on to too much stuff.
The thing is that I don't. I still release. I release clips. I'm active. I'm still active on social media.
I'm not just talking about art, but I mean holding on to things. Like you said, I'm better at letting go because I let shit go. Not just art, but I let it go. People do stuff.
This is really the only place in my life where I feel like this.
But I'm just saying, letting go, whatever. I don't know what exactly it is that needs to be let go. But that's what's
you let go. You're like you said, we're similar in this. When I say you let go, what I'm talking about is your dislike of social media. That to me, if all of a sudden I start releasing every day just because, I just let go, I would be betraying myself, and I'm not into that business. And I don't feel like that is holding on to something.
Sorry, say that again. If
I were to just start doing it day to day, okay, F it. You know what? I am holding on to something. I don't know what. So let me just release. Let me hit the algorithm every day, 2 times a day, whatever. That is literally going against my belief. So what am I letting go of? Like you know what I mean? It's a belief system that I have. At a certain point, I think that should be respected and held on to, or else I have nothing.
Yeah.
If I don't respect my own beliefs, then what do I respect of myself? You know? I feel, don't let him bully your son. That's straight up what social media feels like with art.
Yes.
And this is, I guarantee, how artists back in the day felt when money started getting pumped into all the avenues of art, when it really started going commercial. I mean, I'm sure it was, like I said, from the jump, but like every generation has a different version of it because they keep pushing the goalpost. You know what I mean? Like me growing up, I looked at people going through the TV route. You know, hearing Patrice talk about going through the TV industry and all that stuff and hearing how scummy that is.
Yeah.
Why would I not like, so we've moved away from TV and movies being the big thing, and now it's like social media and all this stuff, like digital platforms and all these things. But are we that naive to think that that hasn't, like, the same negative energy behind movies and Hollywood and all that stuff hasn't shifted to these platforms? Are we not forgetting that the platform is created by Tencent, by Meta, by companies who literally are socially engineering these platforms to create people to be depressed, to look at others and think less of their own life? Meanwhile, not even though, how is it that most people online know everybody's online profile is a faker version of their life? It is a hyper glamorized version of what they actually, yet they still will look at someone's account and feel bad about their life.
Well, they haven't really done the work, which is why they're able to do it.
Thank you. So why would I want to contribute to that? That's my dilemma. I love creating. I like making sketches. But if the only avenues to put that out right now are the places that are making people sick, whether or not they want to say that.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
What would be your version of opening up your own bread store that's not Instagram or TikTok?
So, yo, if we could create services that, like, I don't even know if this is possible. I don't know, because at this point we're giving everything up to an algorithm, to a robot.
But I'm saying off that. So, like, say, like, would it be making your own website? Would it be only uploading things to Patreon, where there is no algorithm and it's only people that follow you? Like, what would that be?
So now you're starting
Would
to get.
that be opening up a storefront where people can
Well,
buy
listen,
your old
because now you're
VHS
starting
tapes?
to, now you're starting to get more to the core of my dilemma. Because, like, these are the only avenues, and I feel like any version, had I existed in any decade and been a comic and tried to work through, I would be dealing with this exact same thing, because what I don't align with is corporate. What I don't align with is algorithm. What I don't align with is, like, suits. I still think, though, that there would, like, again, we're not in the States, so this is also another thing that I've realized. Going to the States really, truly opened my eyes. I could be existing comfortably the way I want to in a big enough market like America.
Yeah.
Without having to really worry about that, and still build an audience online through organic shows, grassroots. So in Canada, I'm being forced almost in a way, because
so the solution would be to move where your bread shop is. Move it to a spot with more foot traffic.
Move it to a spot where there's an actual market for bread shops, comedy.
Yes.
There is no economy for comedy in Canada outside, and coming back from Texas again, this has been like this friggin' crescendoing energy, because I really saw a path. I saw multiple branches of pathways where I didn't have to feed the algorithm, and I could still be a comic and feel like I'm still reaching people and still growing an audience. But I'm back here in Canada. I don't have my visa. I'm working towards it. But I'm not going to just sit here and be stagnant, you know? Like, and as much as I sit here and friggin', you know, like, complain this and that or whatever, like, I love the challenge. This is what I'm here to do. I figured out the artistry side of it. Now let me figure out how I can blend me within my nature into the business side of it. And I'm very happy with the things that we're doing. And even though I'm saying what I'm saying constantly, I still keep that in check with what we're doing, and our thing isn't proven. Like, the show isn't proven out yet. But there is an audience for just straight up, like, passionate comedy. So that's the audience that I want to build, you know? And I think I can do that. I think we can do that while just continuing to film how we film and finding ways to present that and package that in a way that's still authentic to us, but almost like giving the algorithm what it wants, in a sense. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, we didn't really create this with you in mind, but like this part of what we did create does work with whatever you were trying to spit out to people and have them turn into brain mush. Anyways, this took way longer than I wanted it to.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast season 5.
I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10 and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So like if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.